Happy Friday. I'm Greg Schaefer. Welcome to the Virtual CISO Moments Infosec wrap up for Friday, August 4th, 2023. This is where I tell you about a few things that I've seen during the past week that I thought you might find interesting in the world of cybersecurity and information security. We begin today with a report from Bleeping Computer. Bleeping Computer reports Microsoft says in a hacking group tracked as APT29 and linked to Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service, SVR, targeted dozens of organizations worldwide, including government agencies, in Microsoft Teams phishing attacks. The threat actors utilized compromised Microsoft 365 tenants to create new technical support themed domains and send tech support lures, attempting to trick users of the targeted organizations using social engineering tactics. They aim to manipulate the users into granting approval for multi-factor authentication, MFA, because we love acronyms, ultimately aiming to steal their credentials. The attackers created new domains using compromised 365 tenants with a technical support theme. These new domains were part of the Microsoft Com domain, a legitimate Microsoft domain that is automatically used by Microsoft 365 for fallback purposes in case a custom domain is not created. We've all seen that domain before. Then they've employed these domains to send tech support lures to deceive users from targeted organizations into approving the MFA prompts. As the message came down from the legitimate on Microsoft Com domain, they may have caused the fake Microsoft support messages to appear trustworthy. According to Redmond's advisory, the ultimate objective of the threat actors was to steal the targeted users' credentials. Makes sense. The company's reports having successfully blocked the Russian threat group from utilizing the domains in other attacks, is now actively working to address and mitigate the campaign's impact. From Bank Info Security, Tenable CEO Emmett Yoran once again accused Microsoft of irresponsible security practices, this time for letting a critical Azure vulnerability remain unpatched for 4 months. The Baltimore area exposure management vendor said researcher Ellen Grant warned Microsoft on March 30th about a flaw in an Azure service that would allow an unauthenticated attacker to cross tenant applications sensitive data such as application secrets. Even though Tenable researchers discovered authentication secrets for a bank, Yoran said Microsoft does not intend to fully fix the issue until September 28th. Quote, "That's grossly irresponsible, if not blatantly negligent. We know about the issue. Microsoft knows about the issue, and hopefully threat actors don't," Yoran wrote in a LinkedIn post Wednesday. What you hear from Microsoft is, quote, "Just trust us." But what you get back is very little transparency and a culture of toxic obfuscation. Microsoft did not respond to an Information Security Media Group request for comment. Google Project Zero found that Microsoft products accounted for 42.5% of all zero-day vulnerabilities discovered since 2014. This according to Yoran. Yoran's broadside against Microsoft comes 6 days after Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat from Oregon, wrote a letter to CISA Director Jen Easterly, Attorney General Merrick Garland, and FTC Chair Lena Khan, urging them to hold Microsoft responsible for negligent cybersecurity practices. Wyden said Microsoft's negligence enabled successful Chinese espionage involving hundreds of thousands of U.S. government emails. Quote, "This is not the first espionage operation in which a foreign government hacked the emails of United States government agencies by stealing encryption keys and forging Microsoft credentials," Wyden wrote July 27th in a 4-page letter. Holding Microsoft responsible for its negligence will require a whole of government effort. vCISO Services is a small, specialized, veteran-owned information security firm with a calling, founded on Christian values and focused on the needs of small and mid-sized businesses. Our passion is to help small and mid-sized businesses gain a fighting chance in an increasingly hostile cybersecurity threat environment by providing executive part-time virtual CISO services, information security risk management services, and CISO advisory services. Check them out at vcisoservices.com. And you too can advertise in that slot if you'd like. Just send me an email at greg@gregschaeffer.info. That's GREGSCHAFFER.info. Continuing along, the Biden administration has announced a sweeping new strategy aimed at rapidly expanding America's cybersecurity workforce. The ambitious plan comes amid a major shortage of cybersecurity professionals needed to fill hundreds of thousands of open jobs across the country, this according to Secure World. The National Cyber Workforce and Education Strategy outlines a comprehensive approach to equipping Americans with cyber skills and meeting both immediate and long term workforce needs. A core goal is empowering people from all backgrounds, including underrepresented groups, to pursue lucrative cyber careers. Many of these in demand jobs require only a certification or community college degree and are available nationwide. Cyber workforce shortages pose risk to national security and U.S. leadership in the digital economy. The new strategy complements major investments in infrastructure, manufacturing, and more made through legislation over the past year. Now, this multifaceted plan consists of four pillars focused on building cyber skills. Here are the pillars. Number one, equip every American with foundational cyber skills. Number two, transform cyber education. Number three, expand and enhance the national cyber workforce. And number four, strengthen the federal cyber workforce. Objectives of the strategy include improving competency based learning models, skills based hiring practices, career development, and collaboration through local ecosystems. Now, everybody agrees that cybersecurity is important, but it's always been and remains a tough budgetary sell. If you're a CISO, you've been there. You've probably been there anyway. Even today, with cybersecurity firmly on every C-suite's radar, getting funding for an internal cybersecurity program is no simple feat. So, how do you make your case to your CFO or whomever is in charge of assigning budgets in the organization without slipping into alarmism on one hand or diminishing the importance of the project on the other? Well, let's consider why it's more challenging to get budget for your security initiatives than initiatives. Think about this. The main issue is that it's hard to demonstrate ROI, that is, return on investment, because acronyms, when you're preventing things from happening, not making them happen. Simply put, security is more of an indirect benefit than overtly direct and therefore harder to justify. Although you can make some good inroads using FAIR, factor analysis of information risk. At the very least, you can get a fairly good estimate, no pun intended, of the cost exposure for a particular cyber risk. Moreover, security tools are often much pricier than other types of tools and products because, hey, black boxes that can fix everything cost a lot. I'm only joking about that, the fixing everything part. So it's little wonder that CFOs, purchasing decision makers, need to think longer and harder and need more proof when it comes to cybersecurity decisions. So, what I got for you here is from an XM Cyber blog that has 10 tips to make your case more effectively. So, if you're trying to get some budget, you might want to check out the list. The link rather is in the show notes. HackRead reports researchers leverage ChatGPT to expose notorious macOS software malware. Dubbed HVNC, the malware is being sold on a Russian hacker and cybercrime forum for $60,000. Russian hackers and cybercrime forums are notorious for exploiting critical infrastructure. Last month, HackRead exclusively reported that a Russian-speaking threat actor was selling access to a U.S. military satellite. Now, researchers have identified the macOS malware being sold for aforementioned $60,000. Guard's Cyber Intelligence Research, or CIR, team has uncovered a sophisticated or perilous macOS malware tool being sold on the notorious Russian cybercrime forum exploit. Leveraging a lead from ChatGPT, the team has unearthed a hidden virtual network computer tool designed to seize control of Macs within small to medium enterprises. HVNC is a malicious tool that enables cybercriminals to infiltrate Mac devices without the victim's knowledge. Unlike conventional remote control technologies, HVNC operates covertly, creating a hidden desktop session that escapes the user's awareness. According to the Guard's CIR report, the tool was available for the staggering price of $60,000. They've mentioned that twice before. I guess they really want to mention that, emphasize that that's staggering. For this staggering sum of $60,000, cyber criminals gain access to a malicious tool capable of persistently running on a Mac, evading user authorization, and executing a range of invasive functions. The tool is effective on a spectrum of macOS versions from 10 up through macOS Ventura, not Jessie 13.2. The creators of this tool, presumed to be Russian hackers, have taken their malevolent endeavors to new heights. To substantiate the tool's credibility, an astonishing $100,000 deposit has been placed in an escrow account, earmarked as insurance should the tool fail to deliver as promised. This unprecedented measure shows the hackers' confidence in their creation and its grave implications. They must feel like they have some pretty good coders there. Now, here's something a little bit different. And I have not read through this except for just a couple of pages, the intros at a high level, but this is from a post by Sean Hyde. I hope I'm pronouncing that right on LinkedIn. I'm sorry if I'm not, Sean. I am happy to announce, quote from the post, I am happy to announce the official full release of our security implications of ChatGPT research paper. We put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into ensuring this document was the first of its kind addressing LLMs in relation to cybersecurity. We saw a gap in the industry on identifying this technology's impact on security and wanted to move as quickly as possible to ensure that discussion was started. This is just the beginning for this document as well. We will continue to change, edit, and create new and informative content surrounding AI, and the link to download it is in the show notes. As you know, I do talk a lot on this podcast about ChatGPT and other generative AI items. And so when I saw this LinkedIn post, I was intrigued. I have not had a chance to read it prior to doing this show, but I would encourage you to check it out. Just the intro to it looks fascinating. Finally, a little conference news for you. If you're in the financial services space, particularly and specifically if you are in the credit union space, I need to tell you this. There's just 2 weeks left to save some dollars for the CU Infosec conference registration. Be sure to sign up by August 15th to get full access at $799. This is a great conference. I spoke at it last year. This year, I believe it's out in California someplace. It was in Houston last year. But in any case, if you're interested in that, the link, as always, is in the show notes. You have only until April 15th if you want to save some serious dollars there on that registration fee. And that's it for today. You have a great weekend. And as always, what am I going to say here? I'm going to say, stay secure.